係講到神嘅美麗。
Last week we talked about the beauty of God.
我相信呢個好陌生嘅觀念俾大家聽，
I believe this is very unfamiliar to all of us,
可能你從未有聽過。
and perhaps you have never heard about this
其
before.
實我亦都承認，我其實都冇聽過。
I must admit I have never heard about the beauty of God either.
只不過神係幫我明白呢咁嘅道理。
But thanks God that He allowed me to understand this truth.
但由於一個好陌生嘅道理嘅時候，有陣時我哋需要咧長啲嘅時間，或者聽多幾次，我哋先至可以能夠吸收得到嘅。
Because it's so unfamiliar and strange that it requires to a few time to hear it a few times to understand.
我今日唔會再
absorb.
重複晒所有嘢，只不過重溫少少啫，然後開始講今日新題目。
And we will not repeat everything. It's just a brief review of what we said.
響呢個詩篇第27篇，呢個大衛講佢話佢渴望有一日能夠響神嘅殿裏邊能夠定睛嚟到望到神嘅美麗。
That in the Psalm 27, David expressed his desire to gaze upon the beauty of God.
我上個禮拜所解釋就係呢個定睛同埋呢個美麗呢個兩個咁嘅情況。
And last week we emphasized on gaze and beauty, these two words.
因為神原來係極之美麗嘅。
And because indeed God is truly beautiful.
到一個地步，呢個大衛渴望永遠有咁嘅機會嚟到欣賞神嘅美麗。
That to the point where David wanted to spend eternity looking upon the beauty of God.
一樣嘢靚嘅時候係百看不厭，係咪咁講啊？
And you will never get tired of looking at something that's beautiful, isn't it?
嗱，當然我亦都解釋到聖經裏面冇直接嚟到去講到話神嘅美麗。
And I also explained to you that the Bible have not say directly how beautiful God is.
但係我哋從種種嘅線索當中咧，可以得到知道一二咁上下。
And from the different clues that we find in the Bible, we might have understand a little bit.
創世記第一章同埋第二章裏邊所講到，神所做一切所有嘅嘢都係好靚嘅。
That in the book of Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, it expressed to us that everything that God made are beautiful.
如果你有機會啊，因為我知道我哋當中有啲人都讀生物學啊、化學啊之類咧，佢睇顯微鏡啊，原來如果你響顯微鏡裏邊睇啲嘢嘅，淨係細胞啊之類，好靚噶。
And those who are in the biology or in that field, they will understand under the microscope, even the cells are beautiful.
我哋要學習欣賞神所創造一切嘅美麗。
We need to learn to appreciate the beauty in the creations of God.
好精細嘅手工，好巧妙嘅設計。
It's very elaborate and is great.
係從一個好有智慧嘅神裏邊嚟去創造嘅。
And you know that it originates from a God that is full of wisdom.
我相信神嘅創意係全宇宙裏面係最高嘅，同埋所有嘅藝術嘅起源都喺神嘅裏邊。
I believe all things that are artistic and creative originates from God.
另外線索就係睇呢個祭司嗰個誠意。
Another clue that we can see is from the effort that is wear by the priests.
我話教會對神嗰個咁嘅解釋嗰個了解係好唔完全，因為我哋好多時睇到黑同埋白。
And a lot of times the church's view of God is incomplete because always they see just black and white.
呢個就係代表呢個祭司嘅神所設計嘅，唔係摩西設計，係神講俾摩西聽，你要咁樣咁做嘅。
And this is the uniform or the effort that is created, designed by God.
呢幅相影唔到個表達唔到佢點樣，但如果你睇清楚聖經裏邊所形容嘅時候咧，係真係鑲金戴銀嘅。
And this picture is not able to express wholly what is described in the Bible.
你睇清朝啲官咧，前面咪有一塊嘢嘅，但係呢個祭司前面有塊叫胸牌咧，胸牌有12樣嘅最珍貴嘅名貴嘅珠寶。
And that in this chest plate that the priest wear, it has 12 precious stones on it.
喺我哋嘅教會裏邊睇咧，聖職人員應該係講廉潔嘅。
And among the clergy that we see that they should be honest and incorruptible.
但係神設計佢個衣飾咧係好華美嘅，係證明呢個神咧係有膽識去做設計。
But this effort that's designed by God is splendid, and it proves to us how bold God is as a designer.
因為神 係要表明一樣嘅出嚟咧，神唔係貧窮，乃係神係富足嘅。
Because God want to express to you that He has abundance. He's not poor. He's
所以我哋
rich.
需要小心理解呢咁嘅情形，因為我哋有時係錯誤咁樣嚟代表咗神。
And a lot of time we need to understand that and do not misrepresent God in this
我
area.
記得泰國開有一間神召會咧，佢哋去建堂嘅時候咧，因為泰國好多佛廟噶嘛，嗰個牧師喺一間教會佢話咧要起到咧比佛廟更加靚嘅。
And I remember when they built a church in Thailand, because they were among a lot of other temples. That the pastor at that time said he must build a church that's more beautiful than all the temples.
你諗越南過嚟，你可能都知道啦，啲人拜佛嗰啲好捨得出錢㗎。
And we know that if you come from Vietnam, you know that those people who worship Buddha, they are very willing to give.
你諗下啲神嘅殿寒寒酸酸咁樣，係咪好代表到神咧？
And if the church is looking so run down and poor, does that really represent God?
所以神咧設計呢個聖衣啊，呢個祭司嘅聖衣啦，係好光鮮，係唔會令到神羞辱嘅。
And when God designed this effort, that it bring Him glory and will not shame Him.
以西結書講到第28章講到咧，神亦都最精心設計最美麗全宇宙嘅就係呢一個早晨之子明亮之星。
And as God created, in the Ezekiel chapter 28, as God created this morning star, the son of the dawn.
嗰度所講嘅推羅王其實係大多數神學家知道咧，呢個係講到撒旦嚟嘅。
And a lot of theologians said that this king of Tyre really represent Satan.
因為佢話呢一個其實喺神嘅殿裏邊嘅基路伯嚟嘅，佢話佢係。
He said that this is the seraphim that lives in the temple of God.
有三種嘅天使啊，一個係基路伯，一個撒拉弗，一個係叫咩啊 ？Michael 叫做米迦勒，係米迦勒。OK， 係一個民兵，一個武兵，然後一個唔知乜嘢啦，唔記咗一個係傳口信嘅。
There's 3 types of angels before God, and there's 3 different types.
佢講到神所創造呢一個其實係撒旦心裏變成，因為佢靚到好緊要，恃種生驕，所以反叛神係墮落成為魔鬼嘅。
And this morning star, the son of dawn, was actually was created very beautifully, and then because of his pride and his beauty, that he rebelled against God, and he became Satan.
我嘅結論就係咁樣，因為神所創造呢啲所有啲咁美麗，你諗下神佢自己本身係點樣咧
？This is how I see it. If you see all the things that is created by God is so beautiful, and you can understand, you might imagine how beautiful God Himself is.
大衛講到佢美麗
，and David mentioned about His beauty.
到個地步，佢希望能夠永遠能夠睇下欣賞神嘅美麗。
That God is so beautiful that He is willing to spend eternity looking upon God.
今日我繼續呢個咁嘅題目。
Today I'll continue on this topic.
首先即係兩點啫。第一點咧就係繼續解釋另外一個角度講到神嘅美麗，然後跟住講到咧我哋更美嘅天家係點樣樣。
And also 2.1 will continue on the beauty of God, and then the second point is that how beautiful is our eternal home is.
用呢一個經文咧，就係以賽亞書第9章裏邊所講到神唔同嘅名字。
A point of scripture that we'll use today, reference today, is in the book of Isaiah chapter 9.
因有一嬰兒為我們而生，有一子賜給我們，政權必擔在他的肩頭上，他的名稱為奇妙、策士、全能的神、永在的父、和平的君。
And it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace."
所着重就係奇妙，神嘅名係奇妙呢個字。
Today we will emphasize on the word, the name of God, wonderful.
士師記第13章第18節裏邊呢一個呢個係咪參孫啊？係參孫咧嗱，佢媽媽咧問神呢個使者啊，其實係道成肉身之前嘅基督，問佢話：你嘅名係乜嘢？佢話：你何必問咧？我個名係奇妙。
And in the Judges chapter 13, verse 18, Samson came to the place where they came to face with the messenger of God, which is the pre-incarnated Christ, and asked him, "What is your name?" And the Lord returns, "Why do you ask my name, seeing that it is wonderful?"
我哋祈禱，父神，我哋感謝你嘅話語俾我哋，
Well, Lord, we thank you for the word you've given us.
因為一切嘅奧秘係屬於你，明顯嘅事係你俾我哋同埋我哋嘅子女，
And all the mystery that you have given to your children.
所以懇求你真係幫助我哋解明呢一個咁嘅奧秘俾我哋知道，
And may you help us to understand this mystery and to know.
俾我哋唔單止有頭腦裏邊嘅認識，乃係個心裏邊能夠真係向往你個君王嘅大道。
And not only to understand in our mind, but also that we have a heart of desire to know and to see that is true.
賜福每一個聽到嘅人，
You bless all those who hear your word,
更賜福每一個行道嘅人。
and also bless those who put your word into
我
action.
哋咁禱告奉主耶穌基督聖名求，
We pray all this in Jesus' name.
阿門。
Amen.
乜嘢係奇妙咧？
So what is wonderful?
我亦都肯承一樣嘢就係咧，我好似冇聽過有人解釋過，牧師解釋過。
And I must admit, I haven't heard any other pastor explain this.
我哋往往以為呢個奇妙呢個字係一個形容詞，係形容到神所做嘅一切係好奇妙嘅作為。
And we always view this word wonderful and as an adjective describing the thing that God do, the thing that he did was wonderful.
但係你記唔記得啊？我哋以前好多時成日唱一首歌，他名稱為奇妙 ，His name is wonderful。佢個名係叫奇妙，唔好講話形容佢所做嘅事係奇妙，係神嘅名。
But actually, this is the name of God. His name is wonderful, not just the thing that he does.
我哋要明白呢個意思係點樣嘅時候咧，我哋需要重溫一下小組用呢個文法嚟去解釋一下。
And perhaps we can explain a little bit using the grammar.
文法裏邊咧有好多種啦，但係咧其中咧有啲我哋叫做咧名詞，有啲叫動詞，有啲叫形容詞。
Well, in grammar, there's things that call a noun, a verb, or adjective.
我哋要明白呢個字係咩種類。
We need to understand this word wonderful and what category does it fall into.
名詞舉個例子就係加拿大人，或者父親，或者會計，或者醫生，或者護士，或者呢一個會計。
A noun could describe somebody, say it's a man or woman, or a doctor or a nurse.
或者加拿大，或者門地可，呢啲都係名詞嚟嘅。
Or you could refer to the country, to Canada, or just the city, Montreal.
形容就我唔講呢個其他嗰個啦，就講形容詞啫。形容詞咧，中文好容易啊，講形容詞即係形容一樣嘢啦。
Well, adjectives in Chinese is easy. It describes something.
英文裏邊嘅解釋就係咧一個咁嘅一個字咧，加上去咧係形容嗰個名詞裏邊嗰個質地係點樣，然後咧將嗰個名詞嚟到去改咗一下嗰個意思。
The adjective definition of adjective is the word or phrase naming an attribute added or grammatically relate to a noun to modify or describe it.
因為講到神嘅不同嘅名咧，以賽亞書第9章裏邊所講嘅咧，就係咧有奇妙測試全能嘅神、永在嘅父同埋和平之君。我用紅色所講所整住嘅呢啲都係名詞嚟嘅。
And you can see that everything here in red, they are nouns.
倒翻轉響綠色所發出嚟嘅咧，就係唔係動詞，係呢個形容詞。
And now in this picture, all that are in green, highlighted in green, are adjectives.
即係話奇妙測試、神、父、君都係名詞，而全能、永在同埋和平都係形容嗰個名詞。
Meaning the wonderful Counselor, God, Father, Prince, they all a noun, and the Almighty, everlasting, and peace are adjectives.
如果你唔明白，希望你唔介意啦，我唔會多解釋啦。而其中咧，呢個測試同埋奇妙係名詞嚟嘅。
And among them, the word wonderful and counselor are nouns.
雖然英文呢個 wonderful 呢個係一個形容詞，但係其實咧中文講翻嘅係奇妙，其實係有一個名詞嚟嘅。但係英文嗰種呢個 wonderful 咧，其實應當係 wonders，就係呢一個名詞，佢但係用呢個形容詞嚟當係名詞咁樣用，太複雜啊！ Well, I guess in the Chinese translation is more direct. We use the word wonder, 奇妙. But in English, the word wonderful supposedly is an adjective. But, in other places, it's used the word wonder. Well, I believe the English is using an adjective as a noun to call God. So he is wonderful. That means he's a wonder. 呢個係符合呢個士師嘅第13章18章，第18節裏面所講，神話你係咩名啊？我係奇妙。
And that is what mentioned in Judges chapter 13, verse 18, that what is your name? I say, my name is wonderful.
我哋要明白呢個奇妙呢個字咧，係反映出個奧秘。
We need to understand that the word wonderful actually reflects a mystery.
唔係只係講到神所做嘅一切嘅工作好奇妙。
It's not describing all the things that God does as wonderful.
如果唔係嘅話咧，就係講個工作奇妙，唔係講到神係奇妙。你明唔明白啊？
Otherwise, they would say that His word is wonderful, not that God Himself is called
我哋
wonderful.
話神五餅魚分出嚟俾人，哇！個工作好奇妙，係神蹟嚟嘅。你係講個五餅魚嗰個過程。
And you could call a miracle to be wonderful, but actually referring to what had happened, not to God Himself.
但係今日神嘅意思話，唔係啊，唔係講啲五餅，唔係講嗰啲魚，唔係講俾分咗幾多人，唔係講嗰樣啊，嗱係講一個行神蹟個主耶穌，佢係奇妙。
But here it refers to Jesus, who the one who performed the miracle. He is wonderful.
呢個字典裏邊嘅解釋咧，奇妙嘅意思咧，原來係用名詞嘅時候咧，係。有一啲個意思就講咁樣，就有一啲意料不到嘅事物或者人，令人驚訝，加上敬佩，而且因為太美嘅緣故咧，係唔要料啦之外咧，係你個唔熟悉啊，冇辦法解釋呢一樣嘢。嗱，呢啲係全部嗰個字典嗰個解釋嚟嘅。
And the definition in the dictionary for wonder is a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable.
即係話一個人或者一個事物太靚啦之類，或者呢個風景太靚啦，令到你哇，你突然間一個吃一驚驚奇一下。
And then when you saw something, a place or a person that's beautiful, you were suddenly amazed at how beautiful it is.
所以我哋用呢個字啊 ，wonders 呢個奇妙咧，係形容一啲奇景啊。世界裏邊有7大嘅奇景。
And as we know that we have the 7 wonders.
中文就用個景字喎，英文咧就用奇妙啦。世界裏邊有7大嘅奇妙，你去到嘅時候咧，令到你目定口呆，哇咁靚嘅喎。
And when you go to these places, you see that these things are amazing, is wonderful.
我唔多講啲名詞，因為我都唔識講啲名詞，有啲第二啲語文。如果咁講，我哋要明白咧。用呢個 wonder 呢個字，呢個奇妙或者奇景呢字係今日係形容神嘅身上。
So you need to know right now when we say the word wonderful or wonder, it describes an attribute of God.
我肯定一樣嘢，神係比所有呢啲咁嘅7大奇景係更加奇妙。
I'm certain that God is more of a wonder than all the 7 wonders of this world.
佢話像人所棄置嘅磐石，有個石已經變成呢個手塊嘅石頭，在人嘅眼中看為稀奇就係奇妙啦。The stone that the builder rejects has become the capstone, and in the eyes of men it becomes a marvelous and wonderful thing. So, 我可以講話。神係奇妙當中嘅奇妙，最奇妙嘅。
And what I can say, God is the wonder of wonders, is the most wonderful.
你知唔知啊？當一個人咧冇預料到咁美麗一樣或者咁搶眼一樣嘅時候咧，突然間呈現喺你眼前嘅時候咧，你有陣時係嚇到啞口無言，就講到呢個 wonder， 所有嗰個反應對人嚟講。
And then when something unexpectedly that comes before your eyes, and then you are dumbfounded, it describes the feeling of wonder, the reaction of when you see a wonder.
呢個啞口無言咧，其實有個動作喺度嘅喎。你有冇見到有陣時啲人咧好吃驚嘅時候咧，突然間個口擘大晒，有冇見過啊？
And have you ever seen someone who was so amazed or shocked that they forgot to close their mouth?
英文裏邊嘅形容詞就叫 jaw dropping，就話咧 jaw dropping 就係大吃驚個口個下巴跌咗落嚟咁嘅意思。
So meaning that they open their mouth and the jaw drop and they just stay like that.
即係話咧，當你見到神有一日嘅時候咧，呢個咁嘅 wonder 呢個奇妙到一個地步咧，哇！你啞口無言，目定口呆，哇！真係咁奇妙嘅個神嚟，咁美麗嘅。
And that one day we will see God, we will have the same reaction, that we will be dumbfounded and our mouth jaw will just drop.
我舉一個例子俾大家聽，當然係蚊髀同埋牛髀嘅分別啦，比唔上神噶啦。我每一次帶人嚟去參觀呢間教會嘅時候，
And I'll give you an example. It's probably you couldn't compare with the wonder of God, but every time that I bring someone to the church,
往往見到啲人咧有一個好吃驚嘅感受嘅反應。
and oftentimes I see they have an amazed reaction.
因為當你喺教會外邊睇嘅時候，呢間就少少嘅教會嚟嘅。
Because from the outside, you see this is a very small church.
你喺外邊睇到呢間好似一間咩啊？好似一間工廠咁樣，人講係一個貨倉啦咁樣。一個外邊幕牆咧，我哋唔中意，我哋都唔中意幕牆，係政府要我哋擺喺上去啫。我哋想拆咗佢嘅，本來係專牆嚟嘅。咁睇到落去咧，唔好睇嘅。
And very often from outside, people tell us, well, the church looks like a factory or a warehouse. Even the wall outside, we will probably tear it down because we don't like them
但
either.
係當入隊嘅時候，突然間，個視覺完全唔同晒嘅喎。
But when come inside, everything's different.
你睇個嘅禮堂嘅時候，哇咁高嘅喎，原來。
And when you come and see the sanctuary, they said that the ceiling is very high.
40年之前，我哋教會新落成。
And 40 years ago, as the church was just built,
華人
completed,
教牧同工會喺我哋教會裏邊舉行。
and the Chinese ministerial were having a meeting in the church.
我唔知阿梁太Lisa 咧有冇認識陳大衛牧師啊？以前浸信會牧師，陳大衛牧師係我以前嘅喺香港嘅同一間教會嘅。咁陳師母入到嚟呢度，我哋去到副堂裏邊舉行同工會。
And the pastor's wife at the Baptist church, Esther Chan, came and went into the fellowship hall.
佢入到嚟嘅時候，哇！仲
And
有咁地方嘅，原來唔係嚟到呢度嘅，就啲人諗住呢度就已經完咗間教會。哇！然一聲好驚嚇到咁嘅情況。
and when she just walked into maybe halfway there, then she had a reaction to say, "Wow, it's amazing."
估唔到咁多地方。然後擴堂之後更加常見咁嘅情況。
And after the expansion, even more so,
我哋帶人周圍去參觀。
that we gave a tour to different people.
當我帶到佢哋上去樓上最冧尾嗰站咧，就係去到呢一個操場運動場嘅時候。
And when I bring them up into the gym,
我打開到門嘅時候，我睇佢哋嘅下巴個個下巴都跌咗落嚟嘅喎。
and I opened the door, you could look at the reaction, all the jaws dropped.
佢哋冇辦法相信前面嗰個警長喺前面喺門口裏邊冇預料到咁噶嘛，所以咧佢一直都個心裏邊冇咁嘅準備。
And that when they were outside, they didn't expect to see what they're seeing right now.
佢睇見咁大同埋咧咁高個天花板。
They saw the gym was so huge and also the ceiling is so high.
突然間個視覺個感覺好似爆炸咗一樣咧，口個衝擊力係好大，大到咧佢個下巴都跌咗落嚟啦。
And this was give a great impact to their sight. It's like an explosion in front of
所
them.
以英文裏邊所講 jaw dropping 係事實嚟嘅。原來我發覺原來真係有咁嘅反應嘅。
So jaw dropping is a concise and precise description of the reaction.
呢個就描寫啲人去到呢個奇景或者奇妙或者好靚嘅當中嘅時候咧，啞口無言，目定口呆，個口都擘大咗，係咁嘅反應嚟嘅。
And this reaction was someone who just encountered or saw something that is wonderful. They couldn't say a word and they were dumbfounded.
由於我驚住有啲人咧會有心臟病發作所以咧 我每一次同人參觀嘅時候，一開始咧我就同佢講啊，即係預先俾啲 tips 佢話，哇！你喺教會外面睇呢間教會咧，係只係1/3㗎咋，你入去睇到係大好多嘅。
So just in case someone may have a heart attack, so I warn the people beforehand. What you see outside is only 1/3 of the church.
講到神嘅奇妙就係咁啦。
And this is how also the wonder of God is.
當我見到神嘅時候，發覺佢係奇妙當中嘅最奇妙。
And when we see God, we will find that He is the wonder of wonders.
當我哋見到咁聖潔嘅主、咁美麗嘅主喺我哋眼前裏邊出現嘅時候，我哋見得到係唔敢相信係咁目定口呆嘅，大吃一驚嘅。
And such a beautiful and holy God, when He comes before us, will be dumbfounded.
我希望一日當我哋見到主嘅時候咧，我哋坦然無懼見到主嘅時候咧，我哋會有咁嘅感覺。
And that when we one day we come and meet God in confidence, we will have that feeling.
我跳一跳唔講呢度啦，就講到神嘅美麗。神嘅美麗就係奇妙，係代表。
And one of the way to about God's beauty that is you could think about that He's a wonder.
通常咧講視覺裏邊俾人嘅感受係咁樣。
And it is this when you see Him, this is the feeling that you will have.
好啦，講到第二樣嘢啦，就係講到更美嘅家鄉，到底係點樣靚到點嘅地步咧？
So go to our second point. We talk about our beautiful, more beautiful home.
當然
So
要
how
承認一樣
beautiful
嘢，
would be.
當然我承認一樣嘢，我所講嘅，無論有幾多嘅口才，都冇辦法能夠形容到神俾我哋咁美麗嘅家鄉係點樣。
And no matter how eloquent I am, I will not be able to describe this beauty of God.
不過我今日我希望達到就係形容到咧，俾你知道咧，比你嘅想像當中係更加靚嘅。
I just want to relate to you that it's more beautiful than what you can imagine.
或者有啲人直頭諗都冇諗過幾靚，直頭覺得係普普通通啫。
And maybe some people never thought about it, thought, well, it's just something that's ordinary.
但係今日希望你知道，神為你預備一個家鄉咧，係即係美麗到咧冇辦法能夠相信嘅。
And I want you to know that what God has prepared for you is more beautiful than you can imagine.
聖經裏邊俾我哋有一啲線索俾我哋睇一睇啊。
Again, the Bible gave us some clue to that.
約翰福音14章第1節開始講，主耶穌話：你們心裏不要憂愁，你們相信神，也當信我。在我父的家裏有許多住處，若是沒有，我早已經告訴你們了。我去原是為你們預備地方去，我若去為你們預備了地方，就必再來接你們到我那裏去。我在那裏，叫你們也在那裏。
John chapter 14, verse 1 to 4, or 1 to 3. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions, and if it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself. And where I am, there you may be also.
你有冇猜想過神為你預備嗰個單位啊係點樣樣？
Have you ever guessed about the place that God is preparing for you?
你如果冇嘅話，你需要幻想一下，好唔好啊？
If you had not, then perhaps it's time that you try to imagine it.
其實係應該理所當然嘅喎。當我哋遊船河或者我哋去旅行嘅時候咧，我哋會住酒店啊，或者諗下佢哋呢個遊船會派一間咩房俾我。
It is reasonable as we go to a hotel or on a cruise that we would look forward to the place or the cabin that is given to us.
呢個單位好唔好啊？闊唔闊大啊？有冇窗有冇景啊？之類嘅。
That we wonder about how big the place is. We will have a window. We have something to see outside.
我唔想要一啲咧，人哋揀剩晒，或者你近住對住個 highway 嘅咁之類嘅。
We don't want to get the leftovers.
你有冇諗一諗，到底佢分派俾我嘅係咪好似宿舍咁啊，還是好軍營咁啊，還是好似希爾頓酒店啲咁嘅套房咁靚咧？
You will wonder about that. Is it going to be like a dormitory or a barrack or a suite in Hilton?
你估神為你預備嘅係點樣
Do you want to know what God has prepared for you?
宿舍啊、軍營啊、希臘酒店啊之類嘅。
Is it a dormitory, a barrack, or a suite?
主耶穌解釋到，佢話在我父家裏邊好多住處我去原是為你們預備地方之而設備嘅。
Then the scripture tells that Jesus is going to prepare a place for us.
中文聖經冇翻譯得好好。
In Chinese translation, it didn't do a good job.
佢話有一個字咧，我哋係翻譯咧好多住處，我哋翻譯住處即係居住嘅地方，但係英文翻譯唔係喎，喺我父家裏邊好多豪宅啊。
And in Chinese, that there in my father's house there's a lot of living spaces in Chinese, but actually in English they said there are mansions.
好大、好闊大、好名貴嘅豪宅為你安排。
Is a very high end and huge living place. That's
我哋
called
冇睇
mansion.
錯喎，個次序要分好清楚喎。佢唔係話在我父家係個豪宅，然後好多個住處，好多個房俾你去住，我預備一個房俾你。
It didn't say that in my father's house, which is a mansion, there is many rooms, and I'm preparing a room for you.
咁啊變咗係宿舍嚟㗎啦，係一個軍營咁之類，或者白鴿籠啊、劏房啊之類。
So it would, if that's the case, it would be like a dormitory or a barrack or something.
但係佢呢所講唔係話，佢話我嘅父嘅家裏邊咧有好多嘅豪宅㗎，你要聽清楚啊！
But you have to look at this clearly. That is that in my father's house there are many mansions.
每一個單位都係豪宅嚟嘅。
That every place is a mansion.
你明唔明白我意思啊？
So you understand?
係好過希爾頓酒店嘅。
As the many Hilton hotels.
所以唔好諗住你去有個宿舍裏邊一個間房咁樣俾你咧，係四咩唔記得咗咩圖，唔記得嘅事啊，陣先諗翻起先嚇。唔係咁樣。
It is not like that. It's not just a place or a room to live in.
我用翻最初講到神所設計嘅，亦都講一講創世嘅第二章裏邊神所設計嘅，係睇睇嘅線索係點樣。
And before we look at design, that we have to look at in Genesis chapter 1 and 2 and how God created the different
神
things.
所設計嘅各從其類，有唔同嘅種，有唔同嘅家族，咁甚至乎一個動物當中啊，都有唔同嘅人哋嘅家族喺當中。
That God created all things in according to the kind and according to the species.
林種種係好大嘅分別嘅，唔係千篇一律嘅。
And even in a species, there's many different categories that are all different.
所以你要理解到咧，神所做嘅唔好似工廠機器製造出嚟嘅嘢，全部千篇一律嘅嘢。
So we need to understand the production, the thing that God created are not like machine-made product that they all come out the same.
我相信我哋嘅房都係咁樣，我哋嘅豪宅唔應該講房啦。
I believe that our mansion is like this.
而神亦都唔係授權俾一個畫則師去代替佢設計呢個工程。
Neither God gave this work to another architect.
因為其他人設計咧，個質地梗係差啲啦。
Of course, if it's not from God, then probably the quality would be less.
希伯來書第10章第11節裏邊所講嘅一個好重要嘅線索啊！呢一個地方神為我哋預備嘅係神親手建造同埋經營嘅。英文講得清楚啲啊，神佢自己係嗰個策劃嘅支柱裏嘅，係佢親手做嘅，唔係其他人做嘅。
In Hebrews chapter 11, it tells us that the place that we are looking forward to God is the builder and the architect.
係神親力親為、悉心為你設計嘅。
And that God is the one who did this, who designed this.
如果我哋明白神係一個最有創作力、最有創意、將作得最美嘅一個設計家嘅時候，我哋知道咧，神為我哋設計嘅房係最好嘅。
When we know that God is the most gifted designer, so that the place that He designed for us must be the best.
如果神所創造嘅雪花，冇一個雪花一樣嘅人咁講，我冇留心睇，不過人哋咁講，我相信啦，就冇一個雪花係相同嘅喎。我相信神為我哋所做嘅豪宅，亦都係類似咁嘅情況。
And if every snowflake is different, as many people have said, I believe all the mansion will be different when God created them.
啟示錄第2章第17節裏邊所講到神咧俾我哋一個新名啊，係冇其他人能夠認識嘅，係除咗我哋係有嘅，即係個個名係唔係千篇一律嘅。
And in the Revelation said that God will give us a name that is reserved only for us and no one else will have.
人嘅創造力有限，所以咧我啲名咧係有好多 John 咧，好多 David， 好多 Peter， 好多嘅 Keith， 有好多嘅 Mary、Lucy、Janet， 通街都有。
And God's the creativity of man is limited, so many people are called John, David, Peter, Mary, Lucy.
神創作力到一個地步咧，連我哋嘅名啊、新名都個個唔同嘅。
And God is so creative in that even our name, everyone will have a different name.
我都好相信神俾佢嘅仿個嗰啲係唔同嘅。
And I also believe the mention that God will give us, they are different.
係獨一無二神精心嘅設計。
And it is unique and one of a kind and designed by God.
以賽亞書第49章第15節裏邊又透露另一個線索，16節尤其是15節開始讀啊。婦人焉能夠忘記他吃奶嘅嬰孩，不憐恤他所生嘅兒子，即或忘記我卻不忘記。看啊！我將你銘刻在我手腕，你嘅長援常在我眼前。
In the book of Isaiah, it also gives us another clue. It says, can a woman forget her nursing child and not have compassion on the son of her womb? Surely they may forget, yet I will not forget you. See, I have inscribed you on the palms of my hand. Your walls are continually before me.
神佢話我喜歡你啊，我留心你到一個地步咧，我掛住你。我將你寫你嘅名字啊，寫喺你嘅手上高，好似紋身一樣紋咗上去，永遠睇到你。
And God says that I love you to a point that, and I want you to pay attention to a point where I will inscribe your name on my hands, on my palms.
你知唔知神亦都寫我啲名去牆上高啊？喺我哋面上高，聖經都有講過。咁你諗下啲，等佢翻入先。啲有錢人屋企裏好多嘅嘢譬如嗰啲手巾啊之類嘅，有埋個叫 monogram， 有埋你嗰啲咁嘅字嘅，佢哋個擁有嘅嗰個名稱嘅嗰個 initial 係咪？你有冇見到啲好名貴嘅寫埋晒佢嘅名喺度㗎？手巾都有埋㗎。
Very rich people in their place, you see that everything that they have their name inscribed on it.
你嘅房有你嘅名嘅。
Your room or the place that you live in will have your name on it.
對唔住啊，改唔到啊！你嗰個豪宅裏邊有你嘅名。
That in the mansion that you will have in eternity will have your name on it.
我想着重唔係講嗰個名呢個字啦，係嗰個牆嗰埲牆。
But emphasis here is not the name, but rather on the wall.
佢話你嗰埲牆啊，係時常喺神嘅眼前出現。
That your wall continually is before God.
你話邊一埲牆啊？
You may ask which wall.
我喺門口住過5間屋，到底邊一埲牆啊？神啊
！And I moved 5 times just in Montreal. So which wall are you referring to, God?
我唔知大家搬過幾多次啊，我諗最少1次啦。咁你都唔會知道係邊埲牆啊？何況我咧
？And nobody, I wouldn't know which wall would be.
我埲牆唔值得神去紀念㗎。
My wall is not worthy for God to remember.
神記得我就夠啦，記得我埲牆係冇作用嘅。
And just God just need to remember me. Remember my wall is useless.
錯啦！神所紀念嘅唔係你而家住緊間屋嗰埲牆啊。
The wall that is referred to here is not the wall of your home or
因為冇價值嘅呢埲牆。
Because those walls are worthless.
神所記得嘅就係佢為你精心所設計嘅呢個豪宅當中嗰埲牆，係你嗰埲牆。
What God remember is the wall that in the mansion that God had designed for you.
神已經為你預備設計咗呢個地方啦，而你嗰埲牆佢哋記得啊，記得埲牆。
And God even remember the wall that He designed for you.
佢哋所講係眾數 walls， 就係唔係即係一埲牆佢記得啊，佢你嗰間房。邊一埲牆佢記得啊
？And in the English is pearls. That means the wall. So which wall are you referring to?
我哋入到我哋兒女搬走出去啊，咁 我哋而家又搬離開我哋以前間屋，否則話咧去親嗰間房就諗翻起我啲兒女，睹物思人係咪啊？
Well, I move away from my own home, but you can see if I have my children have their stuff left over, and when I look at them, then I'll remember them.
Like if I backtrack a little bit, if I were still staying in my old home, and then whenever I go into a room, I look at the things and everything. I remember my children, right? 中文睹物思人 That means when you look at things, you remember the person. 神咁啊，佢入到我哋未來間房啊，佢為我哋設計嘅，佢睇嘅時候就諗翻起我哋每一個人啊。
So that God will remember the walls. So when He remember the walls, then He will remember us.
大約2年之前
About 2 years ago,
我掛住我多倫多個女。
that I was thinking I miss my daughter in Toronto.
好想見到佢。
Really want to see her.
咁其中一樣嘢我所做諗就係咩咧？哇！我如果幾時佢翻嚟咧？佢翻嚟咧，我要煮啲佢最中意食嘅嘢俾佢食。
So in my heart, I thought that when she comes back, I'll prepare the food that she liked the most.
咁我諗起佢中意食鳳爪，
And her favorite food was the chicken feet.
我就冇諗住去買翻嚟喎。我諗啊，不如我學整鳳爪嚟到令到佢驚喜一下。當佢翻嚟嘅時候，有鳳爪可以食啦。
I thought that not to go buy one, but actually prepare it myself. So when she comes back, and she'll have her favorite food.
你知我唔懂得整鳳爪，
But you know that I don't prepare
而且10幾
chicken
年啦
feet.，
我冇入廚啦，因為我煮啲佢哋覺得唔好食，咁我話算啦，我以後唔再煮嘢啦，我做第啲嘢啦。幾粗重都唔緊要，就唔好叫我煮嘢啦。咁我10幾年冇入廚嘅。
And I have never prepared food for them maybe over 10 years because they didn't like the taste that I create.
我
So
上網學整鳳爪，
so I do other things, but this time I learned how to prepare chicken
原來
feet.
好特別嘅。
It's indeed unique.
佢又叫佢咧預備啲冰嚟到
You
咧
need，some ice,
然後咧你就要擺啲鳳爪去炸咗佢，
and you will have to fry the feet.
然後咧炸到好之後咧抌落冰水裏面，等佢哋變成虎皮，嗰啲皮會爆。
And after you fry them, you put it into the ice water, so that the skin will pop
浸
up.
起碼2鐘頭啦，然後咧就攞去一啲好香味嘅就啲醬油裏邊煮佢，煮到好好食。
And after many hours, you take it out and put it in a sauce and start cook it for many hours.
都幾複雜下㗎，
Quite complicated,
但係咧我學咗啊，
but I learned to do that.
我心裏邊好急不及待，女啊，你可唔可以快啲翻嚟啊？我可以俾你食嗰啲鳳爪啊！
And I couldn't wait for my daughter to come back so I could prepare for her.
因為呢係我提醒我掛住我女嗰個情況。
It reminded me how I miss my daughter.
如果你明白呢個嘅時候，要明白咧，神係掛住你啊！
If you understand this, and you understand that God misses you.
神為你精心設計、度身訂咗個豪宅，而家係空置咗。
And God is thinking of it, and the place that He prepared for you is not being inhabited.
連你個名都寫咗喺度噶啦，
And there's a mention with your name on it.
連你埲牆佢記得，每一埲牆都記得啊！
And God remember every wall in this
神
mansion.
係渴望你有一日嚟到天家裏邊，嚟到個懷抱當中，嚟到重歸父嘅恩情嘅裏邊。
And God wanted and desired plan for the time when you come back and return to Him into His arms.
神話我掛住你，你嘅名寫喺度，呢埲牆我都記得啊，就係天上嗰個家嗰埲牆。
And God misses you and thinking of you. He even remembered the wall and the wall with the name on it.
唔好覺得你自己係一個 number 啊！
Do not think that you're just a number.
我哋每一個人喺神嘅眼中都係好貴重啊！我哋連頭髮係神都數過。
And that we are every one of us is precious in God's sight. Even the hair on our head, God had counted it.
神好愛我哋，
God loves us.
佢當我哋係如珠如寶噶。
That we are precious in His
你
sight.
唔好以為你係其中嘅一個咁多人嘅，你係神喺我眼中係唯一一個啊！
That you are not one among many, but you are the one and only in God's sight.
聽唔聽明白啊？你今日開始要知道啊，神為你特別係預備度身訂咗間房俾你嘅，
That God had to make a mansion for you.
同埋佢睇見埲牆嘅時候，就掛住你噶，佢成日諗住你埲牆 諗住你幾時翻嚟嘅？
And God, the walls in this mansion continue to come before God because he is waiting for you to come back and to live in this place.
唔單止咁樣，睇一睇呢個豪宅嘅質素係點樣。
And not only that, look at the quality of this mansion.
上個禮拜我所解釋嘅，我哋好多時將神擺喺呢個黑與白嘅設計嘅當中。
Last week we thought that we put God, we see God in black and white.
我解釋神係愛色彩嘅。
And I also explained to you, God loved the colors.
神富有創意嘅，
And He's full of creativity.
神所俾你嘅為你預備嘅豪宅，起碼肯定唔好似修道院，唔好似庵堂，唔好似祈禱山一樣，乜都冇家徒四壁嘅。
And definitely, the mansion will not be like a ministry or a temple or even the prayer mountain where there's nothing.
頭先我就唔記得你就家徒四壁，神唔會俾一個家徒四壁俾你嘅一個。
And we're just only four walls.
神係最有創意嘅設計師。
And God is most creative designer.
佢所做嗰啲咁美麗，
All the things that He designed are beautiful.
連呢個最朴素嘅祭司個禮服嘅聖服咧，都反映出神嘅豐盛。
Even a simple priest, the effort that He designed for them would express His abundance.
因為祭司應該無產無業噶嘛，係嘛？但係神整到佢咁華美。
Even with a priest who had no possession, then yet God allowed him to be so splendid in the
神
things
創
he
造
wear.
咗呢個撒旦啊，雖然咁叛逆啊，佢都用咁華美嘅裝飾嚟到裝飾佢。
Even Satan, when God created him, he was adorned with many beautiful things.
穿金戴銀，同埋有價值連城嘅珍珠寶石嚟到裝飾呢個撒旦。
That he was adorned with gold, silver, and precious stones.
咁呢個神俾我哋嘅豪宅係點樣咧？
So how is this mansion that God prepared us would be like?
喺10幾年之前，我睇 CBC 講到關於香港嘅首富幾位首富嘅豪宅係點樣。
And some years ago, that they have a program that showed us how the rich and famous live in Hong Kong.
然後我見到哇，原來啲水喉啊，廁所水喉都係鑲金嘅喎。
So that even the faucet is gold plated.
仲有一個啊，嗰個膠啊，嗰個我唔知係咪廁所板嘅爆膠，我唔記得清楚。嗰個膠都係金膠嚟㗎。
Even
the hinge of the toilet seat. If I haven't mistaken, it was gold or at least gold plated. 嗰啲都係小巫見大巫。響2、3年之前咧，我親戚大陸嘅親戚咧發過嚟俾呢個鄧博方嘅豪宅啊。
And a few years ago, they show us also the place where Deng Po Fo was living.
知唔知個鄧博方啊？鄧博方就係鄧小平嘅仔啊，跛有腳嘅坐輪椅嘅仔。
And he's actually the son of Deng Xiaoping.
哇！嗰間屋咧，真係鑲滿晒金啊，諸如此類嘅。
And it's so luxurious.
咁你估神俾你嘅豪宅係乜嘢嘅水準咧？香港富豪水準、鄧博方嘅水準還是乜嘢咧
So what is how about God's mansion to prepare? How does it compare with all these other mansions of the rich and
聖
famous?
經裏邊冇講到。
The Bible did not mention
我哋
anything.
將我用我哋幻想睇神嘅設計之處，你頭先所講嘅。
We can only imagine the design and all other things that God can create.
但係聖經裏邊俾我哋一個大啲嘅線索就係咩？個神嘅居所裏邊咧係精金街、碧玉城，係珍珠門。
And but God did give us a hint in the Bible that there was a street of gold and the foundation of the city of the walls would be jasper.
希伯來書第11章第13至16節咧，係形容呢個字係更美嘅家鄉。
That in the book of Hebrews chapter 11, it mentioned about this better country.
我相信係好過我哋所想象嘅。
I believe it's better than what we can imagine.
所以你直接用你嘅幻想嚟睇一睇啦。
So you have to exercise your imagination a little bit.
最後用亞伯拉罕嚟解釋呢咁嘅更美嘅家鄉係點樣？最後用亞伯拉罕嚟解釋呢個更美嘅家鄉係點樣
？And lastly, we'll try to explain this about this better country through Abraham.
聖經喺亞伯拉罕嘅生平裏邊冇講到神俾亞伯拉罕睇見呢個更美嘅家鄉。
In the Bible, God did not reveal that He actually showed Abraham this better country.
但喺希伯來書第11章裏邊講話，亞伯拉罕睇過㗎。佢睇咗之後，佢就寧願地上嗰度做客旅，唔稀罕地上嗰所有嘅嘢。
And but in this scripture show that Abraham actually saw this better place, and for that reason he wanted to be a pilgrim on this earth, and nothing ever on this earth catches eye again.
咁我就思想下，神幾時俾亞伯拉罕睇過呢咁嘅更美嘅家鄉天上高顯現俾佢咧？
So when did God show Abraham this better place?
我唯一所有嘅下結論就係咧，神佢第一開始嘅時候同佢講話，你離開你父家之處咧，去往我所要指示你嘅地方。好可能嗰時候佢話所指示地方，佢冇詳細講到俾我哋知道嗰個內容。其實咧，係當時神已經係啟示。開咗亞伯拉罕嗰個眼睇到異象，見到個家鄉。
The only thing I could think of is at the beginning when God called Abraham to say, "You go to the place that I want you to go." It didn't mention about what this place is and where this place is. I believe that God at that time opened his eye and allowed him to see a vision of this mansion in heaven.
總言之，亞伯拉罕生平裏邊睇到異象，見到天上嘅家係幾咁靚。
So into this vision, Abraham saw how beautiful his heavenly home is.
當我見到之後，上咗癮啊！
And after he saw this, it became his dream.
地上高所有嘅豪宅啊，無論係香港首富啊，呢一個鄧樸方嘅豪宅啊，都睇唔在眼內啦。
And all these houses of the rich and famous are no longer catching his eyes.
你知唔知亞伯拉罕好有錢㗎？
Do you know that Abraham himself is rich?
好有錢嘅。
He's very, very rich.
其實地上嗰任何嘅大屋、靚屋，佢都可以有錢買到嘅。
And he's able to afford any house that he wants
但
on
當
this
我見
earth.
到天上高神所為佢預備嘅豪宅嘅時候，所有地上我都唔睇在眼內啦。
And yet, after he saw what God prepared, the mansion that God prepared for him in heaven, he know all these things no longer catch his
真
eye
係唔稀罕嗰啲啊！
because he don't care for it
所
anymore.
以一生一世咧，佢係寧願住帳棚，因為佢有個更好，點解要呢啲咁唔好嘅啫？
And throughout his life, he only lived in a tent because he know that he will have the best.
佢係一個更美嘅家鄉，神為佢預備，佢睇到
That he saw this better place, this better home that God had prepared
呢一
for
個
him.
係 award-winning designer house、signature house，係一個咧係得獎嘅，神所為佢設計嘅，係神真心最叻嘅、最叻嘅設計師設計嘅。
And God is the award-winning designer who designed this unique place for him.
弟兄姊妹啊，
Brothers and sisters.
當我哋敬拜，我哋要幻想見到神。
So when we worship, we need to visualize that God is
我
before
哋喺
us.
地上嗰個敬拜係一個彩排，
And our worship on this earth is just a rehearsal.
我哋要幻想見到神喺佢跟前裏邊敬拜佢，
And we need to visualize that God is before us and we're worshiping him.
同埋一日見到佢嘅聖潔、佢威嚴嘅時候，我哋去讚美佢。
And when we saw the dignity and the beauty of God, we were never able to stop to
仲要
praise
預
him.
備一樣嘢，有一日唔係只係萬膝跪拜、萬口承認。
That we know that all knees will bow and all tongues will
喺天
confess.
上嗰係咁啊，聖經話萬膝要跪拜、萬口承認，係嘛？
And this is how it is in heaven, that all knees will bow and all mouth will confess.
但今日講多一樣嘢俾你知道，
Today, I want to add one more thing.
萬口對唔住，唔係萬口，萬個下巴都要跌咗落嚟啊！
That all jaws will drop at that moment as well.
見到神嘅榮美，見到神嘅榮耀，見到神嘅美麗嘅時候，讚嘆不已神嗰個美麗。
And that when we see God's beauty and His wonder, that we'll never cease to be amazed.
我哋永遠喺神嘅寶座之前有欣賞佢嘅榮
That
美。
forever there will be spent eternity in front of
有
God.
一日我哋好
His
似入
throne.
仙境一樣，去到神嘅寶座前，
That indeed, that before God we enter into heaven.
唔好再用地上嘅眼光嚟睇天上嗰個嘢啦。
Do not use our earthly eye to see the things of heaven.
天上嗰個美麗得緊要到一個地步，你係向往要去嘅，唔係因為你貪錢喎。
And that the beauty of heaven will draw you, not because you want to be wealthy.
聖經裏邊最後一個經文我讀完咧，就完有唱首歌。哥林多前書第2章第9節，如經上所記，神為愛他的人所預備嘅是眼睛未曾看見，耳朵未曾聽過，心裏邊亦都未曾想過，即係話好到咧想唔到，意料唔到，諗都諗唔到，見都未見過咁好嘅嘢。
That in the 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 9 it says, however, as it is written, what no eye have seen, what no ears have heard, and what no human mind have conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him.
Like countryside. I'm satisfied with just a cottage below, a little silver and a little gold. But in the city where the ransom will shine, I wanna go on that silver line. I got a mansion just over the hilltop in that bright land where we'll never grow old. And someday yonder we'll never more wander, but walk the street that pure as gold. 唔得啊！我哋一定要揾個 band 落嚟幫你打鼓先得，因為咧呢個首歌好有節拍。band 你可唔可以聽到個聲音嘅時候咧，你落一落嚟咧幫你打鼓可唔可以啊？啲西人啊，聽到呢首歌係好有節拍嘅。Is band here? Is band upstairs? Or did I catch him napping or something? No? Is he coming? Okay. You should put your hands together too when you sing the song. I'm satisfied with just a cottage below, a little silver and a little gold. But in the city where the ransom will shine, I want a gold one, that silver line. I've got a mansion just over the hilltop in that bright land where we'll never grow old. And someday yonder we'll never more wander, but walk the street that are purest gold. Verse 1中文啊，中文。第一節，誰居於小路，我的心意自造，誰缺少金銀，安居是福，日日在天上，於聖 四頭發光芒，期盼光感冒，永遠擁有，好窄為我備，在華美的天上，長生不老，光明美地。當踏上彼岸，不再撇獲流蕩，無利榮辱勝，正金街上。Go often pattern, common and passeth, and like the prophet, I fill a storm. And though I found here no permanent dwelling, I know He'll give me a mansion my own. 豪宅為我備，在華美的天上，長生不老，光明美地。當踏上彼岸，不再眺望流蕩，無利並辱勝，正金街上 Verse 3。可以放在邊呢？當定別過 all desert and lonely, I'm not discouraged, I'm heavenly bound, I'm just a pilgrim in search of a city. I want a mansion, a home and a crown, 豪宅為我備，在華美的天上，長生不老，光明美地。當踏上彼岸，不再希望流蕩，無利並辱勝，我情感街上。當我喺黑人教會嘅時候啊，唱呢首歌啊，真係成間教會啲人咧要出嚟跳晒舞嘅，唱呢首歌，你哋就冇乜反應啦。
When I was in black church, the people who were singing this song, they would come out actually dancing, but we seem to have a little bit of reaction.
有啲啊，啲黑人啊，哇，嗰首歌都係我嘅，咁樣唱到好投入去裏邊㗎。呢啲需要咁樣做啊，其實。
And they were really involved in getting into saying, this mansion is mine. And we need to learn to do that as well.
當你知道啊，你得到呢個咁嘅獎啊，仲好過中649啊！感謝神啊，感謝神啊！神為我哋預備一個豪宅響天上高啊，幾咁好啊！
We thank God, God prepared a mansion for us in heaven.